Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on Superman for the Animals. Now, as you know, Linkara has reviewed this comic before, and I personally bought it off eBay back on Monday when I was at my dad's house to see what it was like. And is it good? I think let's get on to the review. So the cover has Superman looking disappointingly at the kids for chucking a cat into traffic, and kind of giving that knowing look, thinking, good grief. So, mainly the story starts off how every person is writing to Superman, either in office, for loved ones, from old age, and for desperately in need. And you've got Superman sitting on the couch, reading these letters, and Lois says, "You coming to bed, Clark? It's practically midnight." "Sorry, Lois, but it looks like I've got another busy night ahead of me. You get some sleep, though I'll try and catch the last 15 minutes before we get up to work." And basically, Clark does point out that, you know, he can't get all these people in trouble. And Lois reads one about a guy who basically lost his wife's kids' college funds in Vegas and needs the money in that. And I like how Clark says, okay, there might be a couple of clanks, but most of these letters are from genuinely needy people. So Superman reads one, and it's revealed to be a kid named Tommy, who basically moved to a new town after his dad was given a job at a chemical plant, and where he meets this kid called Bullseye, who says, "Welcome to the sit next to me. Man, be nice to have a human to talk to after talking to a squirrel for 6 weeks." And so he makes friends with a guy called Bullseye, and you've got his friend, one that which we know is called Donuts, and there's other ones called Charlie and 8-Ball. So what's interesting is that it's kind of revealed that there is some dark behavior with Bullseye, and it kind of shows later on what he truly is. So meanwhile, at Tommy's house, when they're playing games, it's kind of shown that Bullseye has no regret for animals, and even jokingly tries to kill Tommy's goldfish, saying, "Me and Mr. Goldfish, dummy, who else?" What? Are you nuts? Shut up, doofus. He can't talk when he's holding his breath. And I'm surprised that Bullseye's friends aren't stopping him. And Tommy basically tries desperately to get him to stop, and he eventually does, and says, "Man, you scare pretty easy, don't you?" So yeah, it's later kind of shown that Tommy did kind of go in the wrong crowd, still teaches notes and that. And for some reason, Bullseye was able to steal his father's gun, and so they have an idea to shoot one of the junkyard dogs. And I'm surprised that no one is stopping him from doing this. So he gets Donuts to do it, due to him being bitten, and pretty much says, "Cool, enemy butt in position. Fire!" And practically shoots an innocent dog in the backside. And one of the junkyard owners says, "You vicious little punks, come back here. I'll ever catch you, and I'll make you sorry you were ever born." And so they make a quick break for it. And later on, it's revealed that he's the neighbor, and even reveals what happened to the dog. So Tommy's dad pretty much says the one person that he does blame is the parents in that. Even though it's not the parents' fault, sometimes people's behaviors can be for any reason. And even the junkyard owner explains that there have been a rash of animal killings. So practically he stays up asleep, worried, and he can't tell his dad, afraid of what he might do. And you even got the guidance counselor who's got his own problems, and he tried to talk to Balzer about it, because to talk about Balzer, but the guy says, "Don't you think you're probably overreacting, Tommy? You know what they say, boys will be boys." And even thinks about telling Mr. Milligan, who basically has this squirrel that he's been looking after. It's later shown that a cat sees a fish and gets captured by Balzer. And they plan to do the most cruel and most evil thing by throwing it into traffic. And you can tell Tommy tries to stop this, but thankfully Superman shows up to stop him. And Balzer says, "I said come back here." Talk about a cat having 9 lives. So it's even revealed that Superman only came to Tommy's hometown to save the chemical plant from and even rescue the workers there. And practically manages to rescue everyone out of there, and Tommy looking amazed. Later on, we see Tommy walking around class, and it's kind of shown that Balzer and that had drowned the squirrel, showing no regard for the animal's life. And they practically make a break for it when Mr. Milligan shows up, and Mr. Milligan looks on and sees what happened to the squirrel and says, "Oh, please, no." So Balzer laughs about it, showing no guilt for the animal, and Charlie basically points out that, you should be ashamed of yourself, you need to stop this. And so they get into a fight, where they both exchange blows and hits, and says, "I'm gonna kill you for that, moron," and practically knocks him down, even revealing his secret stash of animal collars. Now, this is a common trope, where usually when someone kills someone, they take something from them, and the other friends are kind of shocked and appalled with what they see, with the animal collars, and Tommy says there's gotta be hundreds of them. And he even asks the question, "How many animals have you killed?" And so you can tell Balzer tries to be defensive, but his friends turn against him. And it's kind of revealed that they tell Mr. Mulligan what happened. Balzer gets therapy and presumably sent to juvie. So Tommy and his friends have to pay their dues by working at the animal shelter, which seems a bit harsh, but it's understandable. And even befriends the cat that Superman saved, and even making new friends. And even writing the letter to Superman, with the cat now being the owner of Tommy. And basically Tommy walks on, and Superman, saying that he's proud of him, looks on and says, "Nah." And pretty much ending the story. So what do I think? The story is actually pretty good. It kind of shows that there are people like Balzer out there, and there's people like Superman and Tommy. It's important to stop something from happening and be the better person. So the story deserves